What really happened at Pearl Harbor was never meant to be known. Japan launched a surprise attack, and America, caught off guard, was thrust into war. But is that the full story? Could there have been more behind the attack? In the weeks before the attack, U.S. intelligence had intercepted messages suggesting a possible strike. Yet, despite multiple warnings, key figures in the government and military seemed to ignore or downplay the threat. Some historians argue that American officials knew an attack was imminent, but allowed it to happen. Why? What if the U.S. government had a bigger plan? One that needed the attack to justify entering the war? President Franklin D. Roosevelt, often praised for his wartime leadership, may have been more involved than once thought. Declassified documents suggest Roosevelt used the attack to rally public support for war, something he'd struggled to achieve due to strong isolationist views across the country. Was it possible Roosevelt knew and let it happen, believing it would unite the American people and give him the power to act globally? This theory has been debated for years, with many pointing to his pre-war preparations as proof he anticipated conflict. The darkest version of this theory suggests the attack was allowed, or even orchestrated, to push the U.S. into World War II. According to this claim, some American officials either stood by or encouraged the attack, believing it was necessary. Roosevelt's administration, already leaning toward joining the war, may have seen Pearl Harbor as the spark needed to ignite national support. Some believe military commanders were aware of Japan's plans, but did not intervene. Whether due to negligence or design, the result was the same. The U.S. entered the war, and history changed forever. Is there any evidence for this? Reports and testimonies reveal strange gaps, such as a lack of defense measures despite known threats. Some say Admiral Husband Kimmel and General Walter Short were scapegoated, while those higher up who knew more were protected. Interestingly, key U.S. aircraft carriers were not at Pearl Harbor during the attack. Coincidence, or part of a larger strategy to limit damage and increase public outrage? After Pearl Harbor, Americans united in a way that had seemed impossible before. The attack silenced isolationist voices and gave the government full support to enter the war. It became a rallying cry, but at what cost? Even today, questions remain. Did people know in advance? Did Roosevelt allow it to happen? While some answers may never be confirmed, the idea of a hidden truth behind Pearl Harbor continues to stir debate. Pearl Harbor is one of the most significant and controversial events in American history. The official version is taught and remembered, but the possibility of a darker reality, one of government manipulation and ignored intelligence, still captivates historians and truth seekers alike.